I've been hearing my mother's voice through the radio static for 3 weeks now, and she's been dead for 7 years. It started small, you know? Just a whisper between stations, like someone trying to tune into a frequency that doesn't exist anymore. But now she's talking to me every night at 11:47 p.m., right when the local news ends and the static takes over. The thing is, I don't even own a radio. I live in a studio apartment above Murphy's Deli, and the only electronics I've got are a microwave that sparks and a phone that barely holds a charge. But there it is every night, that familiar crackle filling the air like an old friend settling into conversation. "Danny," she says, and it sounds just like her. Same cadence, same way she'd drag out the A when she was worried about something. "Danny, you need to remember what you forgot." Here's the weird part. I can't remember what I'm supposed to remember. My memory's been Swiss cheese lately, holes big enough to drive a truck through. I'll be standing in the grocery store holding a carton of milk, and suddenly I'm not sure if I came here to buy groceries or if I work here. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead like angry wasps, and everything feels too bright, too sharp. Dr. Henley says it's stress. Grief does funny things to the brain, she tells me, like it's some kind of broken appliance that just needs the right manual to fix it. But I know what I'm hearing. So I started following the sound. Not literally. You can't chase radio waves down the street like a lost dog. But I've been mapping where it's strongest. My apartment, obviously. The corner booth at Sal's Diner. The bench outside the old Paramount Theater where Mom used to take me for matinees. All places we went together, all places that matter. I asked Mrs. Chen from downstairs if she's been hearing anything strange. She looked at me like I'd grown a second head and offered me some of her anxiety medication. "Radio voices," she said, shaking her head. "Next, you'll be seeing Elvis at the Piggly Wiggly." But I know what I know. The sound always comes from the same direction, northwest, toward Riverside Cemetery where we buried her. Sometimes I can make out other voices too, layered underneath hers like an echo of an echo. Dad's laugh, my sister Katie's humming, all of them gone now, all of them whispering through the static. I started keeping a journal, timestamps, exact words, atmospheric conditions, real scientific-like. 11:47 p.m. Danny, the red box under the floorboards. 11:47 p.m. You were there when it happened. 11:47 p.m. Stop pretending you don't remember. That's when the dreams started getting more vivid. Not dreams exactly. More like watching old home movies projected on the inside of my eyelids. Me at 8 years old sitting in the back seat of Dad's Buick, rain streaking the windows. Mom turning around to say something, but her mouth moves without sound. I tore up the floorboards in my apartment last Tuesday. Mr. Murphy wasn't too happy about it, but I promised to pay for repairs. The wood came up easy, like it wanted to be found. And there it was, a small red box, the kind Mom used to keep her jewelry in. Inside, a key, a photograph, and a newspaper clipping I'd never seen before. The photo showed our family at some picnic I don't remember. We're all smiling, but something's off about the shadows. They fall in the wrong directions, like the sun couldn't make up its mind where to be. The clipping was from July 15th, 1994. Local family killed in car accident on Route 9. I read it 3 times before the words sank in. Daniel's family. Survived by son Daniel. Driver fell asleep at the wheel. Multiple fatalities, but that's impossible. I remember Mom's funeral. I remember Katie moving to Portland. I remember Dad's slow fade into whiskey and silence before his heart gave out. I remember all of it. The radio started talking to me in daylight after that. Not just Mom's voice anymore, but all of them. Dad explaining about insurance policies, Katie asking if I've been taking my medication. Even Uncle Pete, who I hadn't thought about in years, reminding me about that fishing trip we never took. Danny, Mom's voice cuts through the chorus, clearer than it's ever been. You were 8 years old. You were sleeping in the back seat. You don't have to carry this anymore. The key fit a safety deposit box at First National Bank. Inside, medical records, prescription bottles with my name on them, and a letter in my own handwriting that I don't remember writing. It's dated 3 weeks ago, right when the voices started. If you're reading this, the letter says, it means you stopped taking your pills again. The accident was real. You were the only survivor. Everything else, the funerals, the separate deaths, the years in between, that's just your mind trying to make sense of losing everyone at once. I'm sitting in my apartment now, holding that letter, and the radio's quiet for the first time in weeks. The silence is louder than any static ever was. It fills up all the spaces where voices used to be, and I can finally hear what's been underneath it all along. The sound of my own breathing, my own heartbeat, my own mind trying to protect itself from a truth too big to swallow whole. The prescription bottles are lined up on my kitchen counter like little soldiers, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, all the chemicals designed to keep the voices in their proper place. I could take them, should take them probably, but part of me doesn't want to let go of those voices just yet. Even if they're not real, they're still mine, still the only family I've got left. Even if they only exist in the spaces between radio frequencies and the corners of my mind that refuse to heal. The rational part of me knows what I need to do. The broken part of me just wants to hear Mom say my name one more time. I guess that's the thing about memory. It's not about what really happened. It's about what we need to believe happened, so we can keep getting up every morning and pretending we know the difference between what's real and what just feels real enough to matter. Maybe I'll take the pills tomorrow. Maybe I'll throw them away. Maybe I'll just sit here and wait for 11:47 p.m. to roll around again, hoping the static brings me something worth remembering. If you're wondering what's real, maybe you should sign up for the channel's newsletter for new stories.